general for all startup collaboration programs. I think you always have a setup phase, you always have a scouting and selection phase. You should always do some sort of POC testing. POC is for proof of concept. And then you always have to kind of decide on what kind of long-term collaboration do you want to enter with the startup? Do you even want to do long-term collaboration or not after you finished your testing? We thought to make it a bit more interesting and a bit more practical, we actually used one of our case studies from the paper, which is the Raiffeisenbank International Startup Collaboration Program called Elevator Lab. So we will go through each phase and I will just highlight a few examples of the Elevator Lab Startup Collaboration Program, how they did it, what kind of KPIs they tracked, kind of also a bit what their numbers were. And if you want to read the entire case study, that is available in the white paper as well.
There's two things that are important. One is that the employees are involved in the process of selecting the startups, and it's not any innovation manager that says this startup is cool, you don't want to work with it, but they are really the ones that make the decision, this is the right company for us. And that's what Camilla said with this meaningful interactions of experts. So that's also what we did with Airbus, that they had all really relevant experts rating the companies and providing the feedback, and the feedback was then discussed also in the expert round, where then it was also seen how one startup that could work with one department also has benefits for other departments, to really see that there is not just one case, basically a one-on-one collaboration coming out of it, but it has a wider impact on the company. KPI tracking always sounds very fancy and very, I don't know, complicated, but in the end, it should be actually the opposite. I mean, it doesn't help to build like crazy complicated models that then only maybe the person that created them understands. But in the end, it's about using a tool and a process that is already in place and connecting to it. So, for example, for POC tracking, if the business units have already their retrospectives or their quarterly alignments, then you can already use this this time and take 10 minutes from that to also talk about the process and the progress in startup collaborations. So it's really trying to understand also a little bit let's say that the customer that should use the KPI tracking. In the end, a lot of times the KPI tracking is really something that the innovation team wants to have, because